CAMech comes with an auxiliary software which helps users program an Arduino device. It doesn't matter how skilled the user is at coding, because the user can program the Arduino device just by clicking. This feature is especially intended for young robot enthusiasts and the users who wish a painless start to programming. Now let us see how to use CAMech. CAMech uses the file extension .clk to store a CAMech program in XML format. Open the CAMech by clicking on the CAMech icon, and the graphical user interface appears. As soon as CAMech opens, you will see three main tabs above. One is for components, one is for our prospective program, and one is for serial communication. Let's see what the components are. In the sensor tab in components, you will see three different sensor types, namely analog, digital, and quadrature encoder. Analog sensors are sensors like potentiometers, analog sharp proximity sensors, and so on. So it is something that you can connect to analog to digital converter of a microcontroller. The analog sensor gives values between 0 and 1023, which means 10 bits. Digital sensors are more like push buttons, switches, logic gate outputs, etc. It gives you the value either 1 or 0. Encoders are also sensors with two digital outputs. It gives you an integer value, and this value increases or decreases depending on the encoder rotation direction. As you add sensors, you will notice that you cannot assign an object to a pin which is already assigned. This is for preventing possible hardware conflicts. In Actuator tab, you will see three types of outputs. The first output is digital output, which can be used to drive LEDs, motor drivers, inputs, etc. The second output is servo output. It requires a pin and initial angle. You can connect your servo signal cable to the corresponding pin, and after you power the servo up, you're ready to go. The third output is pulse width modulation output. It is limited to certain pins due to hardware limitations of Arduino. With this output, you can adjust the speed of a DC motor as well as adjusting the brightness of an LED as an example. After actuators, you will see the variable tab. In this tab, you can define your own integer variables and use them freely in your program. Now let us assume that we want to control the angle of a servo with the quadrature encoder and observe the value of encoder. Now let us add the corresponding components. First we have a servo and a quadrature encoder. After making sure that we have all components in the list, we can move on to the programming. In programming part, there are two main parts: control statement and actions. In control statement part, you can allow an action to happen on a certain condition. There are commonly known if-else statement, while statement, and also time statement, which allow the user to repeat an action for a definite number of times. In action part, there are 5 actions: delay in milliseconds, delay in microseconds, printing the value of a component on a serial port, assigning values to a component, and arithmetic logic operations on a component. Let us write our servo driving program. First of all, we need an infinite loop for our operation. Let us create it by using while loop and giving it a true statement. In condition part, you can create conditions and merge them as you like. Here, 0 equals 0 give always true for while loop, allowing it to loop forever. After giving at least one condition, you can use add button to add this loop structure to the list. Or if you make a mistake, simply click on the corresponding line and click on remove button. Note that the program statements are always added after the selected line. In our case, we can simply map the encoder value to the servo angle. Let's use assign action, and after assignment, we need a little delay for our action to take place. Then we will use print statement to observe the encoder value. Well, that's it. We have just driven a servo. If you want to keep your setup, you can use File menu to save your program. Let us save it and give it a name. After saving, we need to upload it to the Arduino device. In this example, Arduino Uno is used, and we will choose it. Then we need its serial port name. If no port name appears, click the refresh button in serial monitor part. After selecting the corresponding port, click on Upload menu and click on Program the device item. Your device will be programmed in a couple of seconds. If you want to see the actual Arduino code only, you may use Translate item under Upload menu. And you can find the Arduino code just beside your saved .cl key file. Now let us see the effect of our code on the serial monitor. As we play with the encoder, the value of the encoder changes as seen. Now that you have a convenient hardware and software development environment, your only limitation is your imagination. Well, have a nice one.